Okay, everybody, we're live. Thank you so much for joining us at our new hour. It is, so let's see, it's 10 p.m. here on the East Coast. It's 7 p.m. in Los Angeles on the West Coast. So thank you, everyone. I hope you're having a lovely dinner or you finished dinner and you're relaxing, getting ready to think about going to bed. You're watching Stand Up Fight Back, where we discuss strategy and analysis for the progressive movement. I'm your co-host, Margot Paez. I'm a scientist, engineer, and occasional journalist. And over here, right up on the side at the bottom, that's Carlos Marroquin. He's the other co-host on the show today. He's a wonderful grassroots organizer. And today we're going to be looking at what is happening in Ukraine, and we have two very special guests with us. We have Vladimir Dubovy. I totally messed that up. So sorry, but I'm going to have you say your name for us because I want to make sure that everybody gets it correctly. And we have Tatiana Kirchenko with us. Kirchenko. And of course, Carlos, why don't you go ahead and do some introductions?
Yes, well, good evening, everybody, wherever you may be watching us from. We are here I am in Hollywood. Have two of our guests from Ukraine, and we are just so pleased to be able to have them with us tonight because, as everyone knows now, the world is instead, but even more so, country of Ukraine. We have pretty much a chaos down there, war zone, and there's a lot of suffering that comes with the word that um, Russian President Putin has pushed upon the people of it is alarming. It is concerning. Um, he some of the stuff that we know that has happened recently is his announcement that he had activated his nuclear defense team that pretty much are trying to send a message to other countries as well. Very dangerous men, erratic, uh, putting the entire world at risk. Not let alone the people of Ukraine that are peaceful people and doesn't deserve what it's doing to the country right now. We're very concerned, but what we want to do tonight, our guests, tell us some of the latest things that are happening. I am sure that they have friends, family in the country, and we are concerned for them as well. But we need to know what are the things to do to be able to support the people of Ukraine. I had the pleasure of talking to our guest uh, as he had been organizing protests right here in Southern California. So we're very that we're able to connect, and he graciously accepted to be with us. So we want to welcome you tonight. Um, please introduce yourselves. Tell us a little bit about you, and we want to be able to hear what is some of the latest things that are happening. Anyway,
Who will begin? So, well, let me introduce myself a bit. So, my name is Tatiana Kirichenko. I live in the heart of Ukraine. By profession, I am a lawyer, a member of the National Bar Organization. I have a family. I have two children, and before the invasion, we led a normal life. I was born when the USSR existed, and I was 16 years old when Ukraine became independent. All my life in Ukraine, before the invasion, I spoke Russian as well as Ukrainian, and nobody prevent me to do it. And we did not ask anybody to save us, to help us. We were happy. We lived in our families, but not today. Today we do not work. all our people in Ukraine, all my friends all over the world. They support Ukraine. My friends here is in Ukraine. Today they help our army because freedom and independence is in our DNA. I'm sorry, it's very difficult to speak today. Why? Because you know that on the 24th of February, Putin became the invasion of our country. It seems to me that he wanted, he expected that it would be very, very simple to invade us. But not today, and it is impossible because we love our country. We want to be happy and independent. We want to be free. And even in our national anthem, there are words, soul and body, we will lay down for our freedom. I am very nervous today. All of our people are very nervous today. I have many friends in Germany, in the USA, in Canada, in all parts of the world, and they support us, and we are very grateful to all people all over the world, and especially to the USA for your great support for our country. We want simple life, but every Ukrainian, all Ukrainian people understand life only when they are free, when they are independent. I do not know any person who can imagine his life in Russia, with Russia. It is impossible even today. We want to ask you to help us, to help us, maybe the deputies of your Congress, help us please to close the sky. It is very, very important for us today because here with our national army, we will win, but sky is it is impossible. So we ask you to close our sky. I don't know, maybe I can add something, but I'm so nervous, and as the mother of two children, I cannot understand how they can hit. For example, in one of our towns now, the Russian troops, they hit children oncology center. It's impossible to understand as a person. Today I hear the news when Russian soldier hit a mother of three children, and one child was only of 3 months old. I ask people all over the world to help us, and I ask Russian mothers, do not let your children kill us. We will fight for our freedom and independence. Do not let them go in our country.
Okay, let's have Vol also introduce himself before we get a little bit more into a deeper conversation. So thank you so much, Tatiana, for giving this really powerful introduction. Vol, please go ahead and introduce yourself to our audience as well.
My name is Volodymyr. It's a bit long to pronounce in English, so as usual, people can call me Vova, and Vova is something we call friends. It's a shortened variant of the version of the name. So I'm software engineer. I have family. I have wife, two children, and also we have a lot of relatives in Ukraine. We actually lived in for long years, 25 years, in the same city as Tatiana, in the very center of the Ukraine. And then in 2015, we moved to Odessa. I continued my software engineering career, and we moved to USA 3 years ago, and we stay here and working. I'm working here.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, Tatiana, if I could just kind of ask you to clarify for the audience, are you're actually in Ukraine right now, or are you in
Yes,
the?
I'm
Okay.
actually in Ukraine right now.
Okay. And can you tell us what your experience has been so far in the particular area of Ukraine that you're living in right now? Have you had direct experience with this invasion that has gone on in the last number of days? Have you been how have you been impacted with it? Do you have a lot of family members who are trying to leave the country? What are things that you're seeing right now?
So I'm right now in a town, it's named Kropivnitsky. I said it is in the center of Ukraine, and our town, as well as all the towns in my country and cities in my country, they are in a very difficult position today. Yesterday we had an air alert, and I, with my husband and with my two children, one of them is of the daughter is 25 years old, and my son is only 7. And of course, he cannot understand what happened. Only yesterday he went to school, and everything was okay. He sang songs, he played games, but today his life has changed, and it seems to me that it changed forever. So we see news on TV from the very morning to the evening, and we try to do something to help our armies. We collect clothes, then some bottles for special cocktails. Our men, they are organized to defend our country, even if they are not in army, if they are not in police. They do it in some organizations. It is called in Ukraine territorial defense. So that's it today.
So difficult, the situation that the people are living right now in Ukraine. We can only imagine. We've seen some of the images that come out from many parts of the country. We are seeing the untold suffering the war brings, and I can tell you that we here in the United States have no idea how difficult this situation is for the people of Ukraine right now. And this is why it's very important for us to be able to, and thank you again, Tatiana, for giving us of the things that are happening out there, because this is a matter of life and death for a lot of people. This is a matter of a crisis that affects generations to come. The whole number of people that die in the consequences of the decision that this president of Russia took is very dangerous. But we're trying to really understand, the things that we need to do. Uh, how's the situation right now in being able to get like things like food, for example? Is that accessible right now? Are people having a hard time even obtaining food, water, etc.?
So I live in the center of Ukraine, and here the situation is more or less better than it is in the north of our country, in the south, in the east, and in the west. Our troops, they defend, they are very brave, and of course here in the center it is a little bit better. But in Kiev, my daughter, for example, live in Kiev, and today she is evacuated to Kropivnitsky because it is impossible to live in Kiev now because of bombing, because some civil buildings were attacked by Russian troops, and many families are injured. Today, many people. We have more than 2,000 people wounded all over Ukraine, and over 50 of them children. I told you that Russian troops hit oncology center, kindergartens, then hospitals, and many civil buildings. Putin says that they do not hit civil buildings, but it is not truth. All over the world, all over Ukraine, I'm sorry, in Chernigiv, in Sumy, in Kharkiv, civil buildings are hit, and also today Odessa is in difficult situation, Nikolaev, but we are proud of our army forces because they really brave. What about the situation? You asked about the situation with water and with gas, maybe with products. In our country, in our town, everything is okay, but still I know that in Kiev there are some problems with bread even today, and in other cities also, especially in Sumy, in Chernigiv, in Kharkiv, because of bombing. Difficult situation. Here we more or less feel ourselves more or less better, only we are afraid of often attacks, I'm sorry, alerts, but still we are proud of our country, and we are sure that everything will be Ukraine.
Excuse me, Vola, why don't we also bring you into the discussion as well? You're obviously you're in the United States right now. What is your perspective being outside of Ukraine on the situation that is unfolding in your home country?
Yeah, it's we all work here, and we have a large Ukrainian community in Los Angeles, and we're trying to do everything we can, and we do a lot of organize a lot of the meetings in support of Ukraine. Especially, we started in in Thursday and Friday, in Saturday and today. All day we have meetings, and it looks like sometimes, as you know, now people can be tired of the meetings, but now it doesn't happen, and every next meeting is on every next meeting more and more people coming. And yesterday meeting on the crossing of Sepulveda and Santa Monica Boulevard was very active, and hard to say how many people were here. It's many hundreds, maybe even thousand. And today's meeting was in the Santa Monica 3rd Street Promenade, and it was there were a lot of people too. So at first we trying to bring this to public, these questions, and we started to talk about more active support of Ukraine maybe in Friday, because we understand that it's thankful that USA provide Ukraine javelins and stingers, but under attacks these supplies can be drained very quickly, and we are very worried that at some moment um, we will not do not have the problem in people. All the guys in Ukraine are ready to fight, and I have my colleagues in local office in Odessa, and two of them went and joined to local defense, and the third guy also went here, but he was rejected because all the units were full, and maybe later he can join. So, like, Ukrainians are ready to fight and ready to protect their homes, and but we can be limited in resources. We can be limited in arms, and now there is a mobilization, and Ukrainian army forces can be grow pretty quickly in numbers, but we also need bulletproof vests. We need helmets because it's a huge number, like 400 of thousands or something. It's pretty a lot, pretty big number. So it's very critical. So all the meetings in LA were trying to very first meeting was to thank USA for the support. But in another meetings, we want to bring the attention, attract the attention to these limited supplies, and to, like Tatiana said, that the critical is to close to shelter Ukrainian sky. It's very critical for us, and I don't know what else USA can do. Probably we need something more advanced than stingers, but because stingers they are short range weapon, probably we need something more long range to protect our sky, because Ukrainian anti-missile systems are working, and a lot of the missiles were intercepted, but some were not, and they actually hit the targets and hit the civilian objects as well. Here we trying to, I'm a software engineer, so I know software engineers trying together and trying to disrupt the operation of Russian sites, of Russian media, of Russian banks, and it really works because they are offline now. Also, we're trying to fight with Russian propaganda here, like create sites that are trying to reach the Russian audience and to tell them truth. And also we're trying to close the Russian media and Russian resources channels in social media that encourage them and and push a propaganda about Ukrainian fascists. So we're trying to do something here in USA as well.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah. We have been seeing that a lot of countries all over the world are standing up and are, showing that they're in solidarity with the people of Ukraine. But that's not enough. We need action. The people of Ukraine need action. For us to say we support you with no action, those are empty words. What I'm hearing in conversations with the different people of Ukraine is that they have been asking that pretty much the airspace be shut down to limit the access of those bombardments from coming with airplanes and so forth by the Russian army. Those are the things that people have been asking for. But we also seeing first time we monitoring, and we're seeing that there's armament now that is coming in to support the army of Ukraine, but everything is moving slow, and I know that sometimes it feels like it turns, especially when you're not seeing the results that need to happen. We are going to be sharing the links that you provided us of where people can send donations, how people can help. But one of the things that we are asking people is for them to call the congressman here in the United States and tell them that you want to see action, real action. I know that they have mentioned about sanctions against Russia, but those sanctions are very slow to come. They move very, very, and the world cannot wait. The people of Ukraine cannot wait. So we need real action. So we need to our Congress people to understand that we cannot leave the people behind. We have to take action. We have to do more. We have to double of whatever help we're giving them. I know that it's a little bit frustrating, and but we keep repeating this, that words without action, you might as well don't say anything, because right now the situation is dire, and some of the things that we should be concerned about, that Putin is pretty much putting the whole entire world at risk with the threats that he keeps giving, mentioning nuclear arms. This guy is a lunatic. He's losing it, and we should be concerned.
So, sorry, any of our guests, feel free to make any comments.
Any
Tatiana,
comments?
you?
Any comments?
Yes, anything additional that you think that we are missing? I know that looking from the outside is difficult, but Tatiana, you have a very special voice right now, because you are living nightmare. Your family's living the nightmare. Your neighbors are living the nightmare, and you could only assume a lot of things, but additional to what we are saying, what else do you think the people from the United States need to do?
I understood you. I remember war in Georgia in 2008, and it was only a picture for me. I saw wounded children, but still it was simply a picture. But today, for me, it is not a picture, because all our Ukrainian people, they live in nightmare. And what we ask to do, of course, all those meetings, we are grateful for them very much. We see the world with Ukraine, but still we ask two things. They are very important for us. It is to close the airspace. It is the first, of course, and very important thing for us. And the second is, I agree with Volodymyr that it is very important to close all Russian TV channels, because propaganda is awful. All my friends in Russia, for example, today, I told you that I was born in the USSR, and I have graduated this school in the USSR only when I was 16 years old, Ukraine became independent. And I have many friends and even my classmates in Russia today, and they do not believe. We try to speak with them, and they do not believe that today in Ukraine is really war, is a real war. And I think that it would be very important to close all these channels with Russian propaganda, because we need people to defend us, to give us. Trimka, Volodymyr, help me.
It's support.
Support. I'm sorry. yes, to give the world support. But the most important thing, of course, it is not even weapon. It is very important. But today it is to close the sky, I think.
Also, you see the events developing pretty dynamically and very quickly. We didn't expect these attacks that it will go so rapidly. So it's hard to say what is most essential now, because definitely for now it's closing sky and more arms, and maybe, I don't know, Russia has a lot of the tanks, and I don't know, is it possible? But if it be very good if Ukraine has such support uh, from USA to get some more serious weapons, like not like just grenade launchers, because I don't know how long it's gonna be. I believe it will continue a week or more, or two. There will be some humanitarian issues, like issues with food supplies. I believe it will happen because there will be no normal trade in Ukraine. It will be disrupted, and all import-export operations will be disrupted. So it's already disrupted, and pretty soon probably there will be some issues with food supplies, and probably we need to think a bit forward and be ready to think about it. But now it goes very rapidly, and Putin sieges Kiev, and it's critical to help us with closing the sky and some essential weapons. So
Right.
that's it.
Some of the things that we were seeing is that there are people in Russia actually that have been protesting the war. There's many people that have been getting arrested in Russia, in Moscow. It is, I mean, not everybody's happy with Putin, even in Russia. They see him as an aggressor. They see that he's putting lives in danger of their kids. Uh, so I think that not only as time progresses, he's finding a lot of problems even with his own army, because we're hearing different reports about these things. But uh, how's the people right now, Tatiana, in Ukraine? People, I imagine that they are very united. They're helping each other. Is that what you are seeing right now?
Yes, the people in Ukraine today are very united. It is the today's situation in Ukraine is such that all people in Ukraine are united. Every person in Ukraine believe in our Ukrainian army forces. We help each other. We believe in our country, and we fight for freedom, even till death. Um, it is something impossible. I cannot imagine and express it by my words. All people in Ukraine united. Ukraine is independent for 30 years, but still today is the moment when all disputes are finished at all. We are united as we were never united before this invasion. I am proud of my people. I am proud of Ukraine, really. Today, they are, even during this invasion, we are happy that we so united today. It's something impossible. I cannot express it.
Yeah. Yesterday, I went to actually to one of the protests that was organized here in Los Angeles, in West Los Angeles, and I was very inspired. I was very inspired by the people that came together. There must have been at least 2,000 people, in my estimate. But I saw such a quick response, and you've been working very hard here to organize. You organized uh, a protest in Santa Monica. There was another one today, but the people are responding. And that's very important because not only the people are united in Ukraine, in the homeland, but abroad are people coming together. What are some of the next things that we can expect here in California, um, that that you guys are organizing? Is there anything else that may be happening that we can point to the people? How can they participate?
We really appreciate if Americans can make donations, and the list I have provided you, especially National Bank of Ukraine opened special accounts for helping Ukrainian army, and donations can be done by wire. They, for instance, if you send a donation in the morning in working day, it arrives to destination to the bank account in Ukraine in maybe in 2 hours or 3 hours. So it's pretty instantly. We're planning to also Ukrainians in USA planning to get together some and buy and deliver some supplies to Ukraine. Um, there is some operators like Mist Express. They worked, and probably we are seeking for ability to deliver some help to Ukraine directly. Also, I don't know today's events. I don't know if we definitely gonna plan next events, next meetings, and a lot of people are ready to join. So we're gonna donate, gonna send some help, and gonna tell to American society and Ukrainians that we are united and we are together. And you know that a lot of Ukrainians were speaking Russian because Ukraine was under strong influence of Russia, and a lot of Ukrainian people lived in Soviet Union, and Soviet Union has very aggressive policy and very to root out the Ukrainian language. And many even young people get speaking Russian because their parents were born in Soviet Union and speak Russian. So now in Ukraine and even in USA, a lot of Ukrainians starting speaking more Ukrainian because sometimes if you meet the guy on the street, on American street, and he speaks Russian, you're thinking, who is it? Is it Ukrainian guy or is it or is it a Russian guy? So it's hard because you can check, you can say glory to Ukraine or another something slogan to check. But now it's changing rapidly, and more guys speaking Ukrainian just to be recognized. And as usual, so it changes, and I feel there is different in relations of Ukrainians in Los Angeles community. It's get quite different. I mean, different emotions and different sentiment to one another. Like we feel more need to be in contact. We feel more need to hook hook to each other. So it's quite different. I can imagine what is happening in Ukraine, because if we here in America feels this, I can understand what people in Ukraine feel. It's more stronger emotions.
Yeah, I'm curious, Tatiana. Leading up to this, the Putin declaring war on Ukraine and actually sending troops into Ukraine, what was the feeling in the country, in the area, on the news in Ukraine regarding this possibility? Because I think for people in the West, it seemed like it was not very likely that Putin would take this action to actually try to take control of your country. I'm wondering how people felt, how you felt in the last month or weeks. Was the sentiment there on the ground more like this was a very serious and likely outcome?
Uh, all over the world, there were many information about the war that is coming in Ukraine, and of course we were very nervous about this news. But nobody in my country believed to the end that the war is real. Everybody talked that it is impossible. Putin would never attack, will never attack Ukraine, and we hoped to the last. But in the morning, on the 24th of February, my family um, woke up because the air troops under my house, because of great noise of these airplanes was, and everybody understood from this noise that it is war. It was not even, it was understandable even without any news on TV. Because of this great noise on our houses and our buildings, under our houses and buildings. And it was shock. It was great shock. I do not know how to express my feelings even. It was shock when we switch on TV and we watched the news about the war in Ukraine. The first day we watched news from the early morning till the night, because we were shocked. The first feeling is shock. Then we understood then shock will not help us to win, and all our people today try to do something for our army. Many people, all of my friends, I do not know even who did not do it, donate for special accounts for our army. We do many things, and local, as Vladimir said, local defenders help our army, also police, national, all organizations, our singers and popular persons in Ukraine. They try to explain the Russians, even the Russian singers, Russian TV. To explain them that it is war in our country. It is not just, and it is not only in the west of Ukraine. It is in all parts of our country, and in Kiev, in Odessa, in Sumy, in Chernigiv, in Zhytomyr today, in Nikolaev. We have all the regions of Ukraine hit by Russian weapons. Shock. The first feeling is shock, and then it is the desire to do something and to help our army. And today is the feeling that the majority of people in Ukraine feel is the proud for our country, for our people, for the scene. How quickly they became united, how we help each other, how we help our army. Even political disputes are not important today. We are united. We were never united, such united as today.
You're very brave, Tatiana, for for um, for being with us, and because a lot of people will be very shy, and but what we are hearing from you is a lot of strength coming from within. You know, in moments of crisis, you know, some people, you know, uh, cave in, and some people, you know, renew their strength and come together. So we want to commend you, because I know that you're dealing with a lot right now, especially being a mother. I could only imagine, you know, how my mother will be, being in your shoes. And this is the thing that people need to remember, that the people of Ukraine are peaceful people. They are hardworking. They are family oriented. You know, they love peace. And right now there is no peace in the whole region. But we also need to remember, and I'm talking to the audience right now, we need to remember that we need to support people that are being oppressed. That's our duty as human beings. We should not be quiet. We should be educating ourselves. We should be, being watchful of what's happening, because it can easily turn around and happen to us as well. So if one people are suffering right now, we need to stand with them. And that is something that I think that is really important, is that easily to say, well, this is happening so far away from us. But the reality is that even as a war that is far away from us can affect us. We have people here in the United States that are from the Ukraine community, and they are suffering. I saw it in their faces when I was out there at the protest yesterday. I saw the anguish. I saw the pain that people are feeling. How much more people like Tatiana, sharing her story right now, sharing that what she's going through. So we are calling on our friends everywhere to please pay attention to what's happening in the country of Ukraine. Pay attention of what's going on, because a suffering and an injury to one person is an injury to all of us. And this is why I think it's very important. And thank you again, uh, for being with us tonight, because we need to be educated as to what's going on over there. Um, Anything else that you may want to add tonight? Any other questions or do you guys have any questions for us? Or, tell us anything else that you think that is really important and relevant to your own experience that you're going through right now.
So I should say I am very grateful. I am very grateful to international community for your help, for your humanitarian help, for everything you do for us, even for this broadcast, because it is very important for people in the world to know about the war in Ukraine. Ukraine is the biggest country in Europe, and of course we fight bravely, but still we need help. We need help, weapons. We need to close the sky, and everything that we were speaking about today. But the first days after the Russian invasion, even not only pain, as I said, not only shock, but we feel also that we are alone in the world, and nobody help us, and it is very difficult to fight with Russia without international help. But today the situation has changed. All countries in the world try to help us, and the USA also. And we are very grateful for people all over the world. They help and support, which help and support us.
We very thankful for support, and I just wanna say that there is no NATO and no not NATO. There is a dark side and light side. There is evil and there is good. So it's a question of not of alliances of something. It's more global. And Putin threatening the world with his atomic weapons. I know I probably it's just a threat, but it's more serious because if Ukraine fails falls under Russian attack, the question what will happen next?
Right.
Maybe it will be Lithuania or other Baltic states. Maybe it can be Poland because uh, why not? Why not join another little country to Russia? Why not try? Maybe it will work because Putin has atomic weapons. So it's question of humanity, not question of alliances. And I believe I don't know how it will get, but how it will go. But I believe that if it can happen that all of the Ukrainians from all the world will move to Ukraine to fight. I don't know how it will go. We hope that Putin will exhaust and maybe Russian people will protest against the war and it will end pretty quickly. But if it's gonna be long, I believe Ukrainians get more and more united and engage more and more in this fight.
See, this is the problem that we are seeing, that when the international community fails to act, now we have the China pretty much starting to make some movements against, other countries as well. We saw recently that North Korea, start lining up some of their missiles and sending some of the, test missiles, and trying to send a message. So it's pretty much encouraging other countries to do the same thing. So that's what I'm saying. This whole thing creates a ripple effect to other countries, to other dictators that pretty much are looking at Putin and saying, if he's getting away with this, we could also get away with it. That's why this is important and critical for us to act. Margaret, anything else that you have to ask our guests tonight?
Yeah, I'm curious in terms of the situation in Ukraine, Tatiana. I know that there's a lot of requests for military intervention, bringing in more weapons. But what is the situation in terms of supplies like food and the grocery stores? Is there any concern about not being able to get access to basic needs?
So in my country, all basic needs still. So everything is okay in my town, but still in other towns, for example, in Kharkiv, there is some lack of products, and in some towns, some cities in my country, the gas stations are injured, and that's why there is no warmth in buildings. People live in cold flats, in cold houses, and in Zaporizhian region, for example, in the east, yes, in the east and in the west, there is lack of products, lack of water, lack of gas, and of course all those all necessary needs of people, they are not satisfied, and it is only after 4 days of war, and the situation will be only more difficult than it is today. I told you that in the center of Ukraine, the situation is the best today, of course. But still, in our shops, for example, and in our supermarkets, it is lack of products for first needs, for example. and for medicines, lack of medicines today, of course, and we need humanitarian help, especially for those regions I told you.
My friends are in Odessa, and they say that there is often empty shelves. So, like like it's probably something which similar happened in USA when the pandemic began, and people go to stores and buy something in advance. So yes, as Tatiana said, in the regions which are closer to Russian border, it's a bit harder.
Got it. We're going to be sharing for our audience. We will be sharing some links. We want you to look at the broadcast, and it will be in the comments where we're going to be posting some of the links on how you can help the people of Ukraine. There are many. Volodymyr sent me uh, several links to different organizations that you can make a donation. Very critical right now. The time to do it, folks. So we're going to be asking you to take a look at the links that were provided. I went on and actually saw some of those links, and they are working links, and they are reputable organizations that are doing good work on the ground. And the time to act is now. We need uh, to put our support follow with action. So make sure that you continue to not only say that you support the people of Ukraine, but actually do it by taking action. That's what we are asking. Um, I personally would like to thank you, Tatiana, for being with us and for being so brave to share your story, your feelings uh, here tonight. Um, I know that we're running out of time, Margaret. If there's any other questions that you may have for our guest, I don't want to make sure that we respect the time that they have given us, that they so kindly have given to us tonight.
No, I think they've answered a lot of questions and shared their stories. It's been really great to have them here with us, and I don't want to take up any more of their time. So I'm absolutely fine giving them the last word on this before we sign off.
Your last words tonight, Tatiana?
My last word tonight that everything will be Ukraine. It is the slogan today in Ukraine. We believe in our country, we're proud of it, and we win. We win Putin, we will Russia, because freedom is in our DNA.
Thank you. Volodymyr?
There is a lot of discussions about why Ukraine is not in NATO, because all our neighbors are in NATO, like Poland and, for instance, Bulgaria and, for instance, Turkey. And there is a lot of discussions about corruption in Ukraine, or Ukraine has not good democracy, but Ukraine approved that our democracy is strong. And the events in 2015 with Viktor Yanukovych, and the events in 2005 when the elections were faked, and all Ukrainians go to streets to protect their choice. So I can assure that Ukraine is a country with a strong democracy, and all the elections last times are proving it. So Ukraine is joking now. When we win, we will not ask to join to NATO. NATO will ask to join to Ukraine, like this.
Wow. Thank you. Margaret?
All right, thank you. Well, we have to wrap up now, but would like to send our thanks again to our two guests here. Tatiana actually is living right now in Ukraine, and Vola is here in the United States. And thank you to our audience for joining us at our new time. We're now on at 7 p.m. Pacific time, 10 p.m. Eastern time. You've been watching Stand Up Fight Back, where we discuss strategy and analysis for the progressive movement. And we will see you again next week. Take care, everybody. Stay safe.
Thank you.
you.
Thank you.